Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Batman movie of 2022, which I was, I can say gladly that I was very excited for this movie, along with many other people. Uh, Being not only a new Batman movie, but a chance for Robert Pattinson to don the cowl, which I definitely did see a lot of potential within him because though people do have this fixed idea of him being as Edward Cullen from Twilight. I have seen a few movies in which he has definitely shined in. Two of them definitely being The Lighthouse and the more recent movie of Tenet, which again he did very well in. But not to detract from that, straight into the movie. To start off, this review will have spoilers for the Batman, so if you wish to see it before then, that's your time to go. So yeah. So to start off, I think the film was a good 9 out of 10. If not, maybe an 8, but still high up there. Uh, I give the rating mainly because it's its own thing, and it doesn't try to bank on being another superhero movie that can cross over with more DC movies and so on. But it maintains its own personality as the type of movie it was, as a culmination of a kind of 80s film noir and the not only that, but the setting and architecture of Gotham was really beautiful to see in a modern day turn of events. There were also subtle nods inside of the movie to what's really going on beneath the plot, with Riddler and Batman being the two main people. But one thing I do like about it is how you have to really pay attention for to notice it. For instance, through each of the murders that Riddler has, he leaves a letter for Batman, which all start off with the envelope saying for the Batman. But when one arrives at Bruce Wayne's house, Wayne Manor, it says to the Batman, which implies that he does know who Batman is. And at this moment, it helps you further look into the Riddler as a person who can figure out who really is Batman. And maybe will he expose this great secret, or will he choose to keep it to himself, which he does keep it a secret, only to Bruce Wayne, Batman that knows that he knows. But also we are shown this Riddler as kind of a Zodiac killer kind of person, being more methodical but brutal at the same time. When he's not a killer though, he's just a normal guy who wouldn't really seem like a killer at all, which I think was very beautifully crafted as a character. Uh, Being kind of the perfect counter to Bruce Wayne, almost similarly being the same person, just different sides of the spectrum, being one looking for good and the other looking for good, but in a more aggressive way. Not aggressive, but psychopathic way, in a sense that makes any sense to you. Bruce Wayne, though, was an interesting character, which is definitely separate from any other iterations of Bruce Wayne from the past movies, and being Christian Bale's and Ben Affleck and so on, which we are not going to go into the 90s movies for obvious reasons. But I'm not comparing them to those other Batmans in any way. Uh, because in this movie, we see him just 2 years into fighting crime as Batman and still seemingly somewhat fresh to the more crime fighting aspect of things, which he is used to fighting crime, but he's not the best at doing so. But being the Caped Crusader, this time we see almost a more realistic side of being Batman until you get to covering the bat suit, because it is completely bulletproof and the gadgets that he has just don't really fit in with the narrative of reality all the time. I mean, it's possible, yes. Is it realistic right now? Probably not. But other than that, I think he's maybe among the more realistic of Bruce Wayne. I think that, though, if you try to compare Robert Pattinson's Batman to other Batman movies, then you might be a little disappointed because, again, it tries to be its own thing. And understanding that each actor brings something different to the role of Batman while still playing Batman, they can be different in their own way, which is a beautiful thing. Going into the narrative of the story, though, I think the story was really well driven, especially from right at the beginning, seeing Riddler's perspective of things. And like I mentioned earlier, diving right into that Zodiac kind of killer vibe where you can see him in the shadows, but you don't know when he's going to strike until he does. Skipping away from Riddler, though, the friendship between Batman and Gordon is pretty well grounded. And really, Batman and the whole Gotham Police Department were coming to trust Batman more and more throughout the film, as though they start to realize that maybe he knows what he's talking about, or he's worked with them so much, and that Gordon has put all of his faith in him that they see he is what they need right now. They do need this hero, and almost gives more kind of a Arkham game type of vibe with the relationship that they share between each other from Batman and the GCPD, being that Batman's kind of allowed to see them at any time and get what he needs. Going next, we have Selena Kyle and Batman do share some nice chemistry, which was nice to see handled well, and the plot was played out between them. That was nice. Being that still doesn't know that he's Bruce Wayne yet, but they still do start to develop that little romance between Catwoman and Batman. Next, though, the plot for the movie, I think, really did set out so well with how Riddler took about the city and took things into his own hands. Even if he wasn't there at the time of what he needed to do, he still had a plan set in place that nobody could crack until it already happened. But overall, the damage done to the city was not expected. I did think that Batman would have stopped Riddler before he would have been able to do anything, but that's not the case at all. Riddler kind of won, and Batman couldn't save the day entirely. Is Riddler in jail? Yes. Can Riddler do anything else now? Probably not. But Batman is doing his best to save the people of Gotham from the destruction that Riddler's caused. But with Riddler still alive in the prison, he still he still could escape and become back as Hush. But who knows? As well, we see Riddler in the prison during the movie near the end, but we also hear a little conversation from what we can only assume being Barry Keegan's, I could have totally butchered that last name, but Barry Keegan's Joker, which we don't see his face very much. It's kind of like a shadow, but not a shadow. I mean, it's just really dark in the area. But you can still know it's him, so it's nice. I think also the lighting when it came to most of the movie was just phenomenal. Focusing more on the dark aspect of Gotham City, but focusing on what was important in each scene, nothing else. Maybe a few small details here and there if you were able to catch it, which was really nice to be able to look at, because Gotham City is a wonder of its own, if you will, in how it's designed and just the kind of the area of the city, which again is really kind of a film noir. So sorry, but I think the sound as well. Whenever you're able to hear what really is going on in the background of Gotham City, or what's going on during the fight, and really kind of how the characters feel, whether it be just someone getting punched or tased, whatever. There's even a scene near the end of the movie where Batman gets shot close with a shotgun, which really would have just blown a hole through you. But with his armor, he was able to sustain the blast. And he couldn't really move after that. He was just down until he took adrenaline, but still, it was nice to see that Batman still is a human and that he can take a lot of damage. But overall, I think the cinematography did go really well with this movie, and that things just were balanced throughout the whole thing. So again, I do give this an 8 or 9 out of 10. I would recommend this movie to just anybody that likes comic book movies, Batman movies, so on. Trying to see if there's any final thoughts. I think the dialogue was well. Could have changed a little bit, but nothing major. Um, yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed my perspective on things. For anybody that did watch it, and especially getting this far, thank you very much for watching. As it does mean a lot to me. And stick around for more reviews on more movies and shows, maybe in games if I get around to it. Thank you for coming out, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.